So what we're going to do with the lunch is we have a couple of things. One of the things is we have a student panel up here, and it's going to be moderated by Amanda Leduc, who was the presenter just after me this morning. And they're really here to just answer your questions that the parents may have, or some of the daughters may have, or the young women that are sort of in grades 7 through 10. And a couple of parents asked me, Amanda had a whole bunch of questions up that we never got a chance to go through, so some of those could be the questions that the panel answers. So I'll turn it over to Amanda and ask her to start the student panel.
Hi again, everybody. So we have a bunch of lovely ladies up here who are all current undergrads in Waterloo Engineering. So we're just going to go through, introduce our name, program, year, hometown, and list our co-op placements. So in case you forgot, I'm Amanda. I'm in 4th year Management Engineering from Plymouth, Ontario, and I worked in a bunch of hospitals and mechanical commissioning work, and now management consulting.
Hi, I'm Erica Janetz. I'm in electrical engineering with an option in physics. I'm from London, Ontario. The first half of my co-ops were in industry and electrical engineering. And now I'm actually working at the Institute for Quantum Computing doing some research, and I was just accepted for my combined Bachelor Master's, so I'll be there, I guess, when I graduate.
Hi, I'm Kaylin Hillier. I'm in 4th year geological engineering with the international studies option. I've worked in, I'm from Caledon, Ontario, and I've worked in the area of mining, environmental consulting. I've been a teaching assistant for the undergrad students, and geotechnical consulting as well.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Collins. I'm from Toronto. I'm studying management engineering, and I'm in 3rd year. For co-op, I've mostly done it in manufacturing, particularly in the aerospace industry, and most recently in Pennsylvania for lighting systems and in packaging.
Hi everyone, my name is Erin. I'm also from Toronto. I'm in 3rd year chemical engineering, and with my work experience I've done 1 term in research here on campus with one of our research groups, and other than that it's primarily been in oil and gas, a couple terms in a refinery in Mississauga, and this past summer I was with an E&P company based in Calgary.
Hey, I'm Valerie. I'm from Burlington and now from Waterloo. I am a grad student in the Systems Design Department. I actually graduated this year, and yeah, so I can tell you a bit more about that. And I'm doing my master's in biomechanics, and for co-ops I've worked in IT, I've worked in construction, project management, and most recently in medical device design.
Okay, so we thought we'd go through, just to kind of get things started, some of those questions I have up today. So the first one we'll do is, what other programs did you apply to other than engineering at UW when you were in grade 12?
No others.
Really?
Really.
I applied to geological engineering at UBC and Queen's and chose to come here, and I also applied to science and engineering science at U of T.
I only applied to Waterloo and Western, but at Waterloo I also applied to business and science, and management engineering is, I guess, somewhat similar, but a little more engineering than that program.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I only applied to chemical engineering programs. Here, U of T, Mac, and McGill were my 4 schools, but it was all the same program.
I applied to systems here, I applied to mechanical at McMaster, and to engineering science at U of T.
Okay, the next question we'll do is kind of a bit of a fun one. What's the dating/boy situation like for a girl in engineering?
Just from observation, I would recommend not dating within your class. But I actually met my boyfriend during Frosty, so that's 4 years ago. He's in CS, and it's pretty good here at Waterloo.
I have a lot of friends who are boys in engineering, but I don't really date any of them.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. We're a pretty tight-knit community here, so I'd recommend dating maybe outside of engineering or your direct program. But people have been very successful, I've seen.
I have nothing to say. I guess I met my boyfriend before I came here, but the thing I'd say is that you really have to have kind of a work-life balance, because there definitely is never going to be as much time you want to hang out with your boyfriend or to hang out with your friends or do all your exercising and extracurriculars and do school. So you really got to figure out how each of those pieces of the pie fits into your day, because they're all very important and you need them all. But at the end, you have to be sure you go to sleep and are up the next morning to go to class.
I guess from my perspective, I would say don't get booked in your class. That's definitely true what they said. I found my boyfriend here in mechanical engineering, and I would think it's a bonus to date someone else in engineering because we understand how busy you are, and so it's okay if the only time you get together is to like do homework and maybe not really talk that much. So, okay, so the next one is what was it like for you to move however many hours away from home to here? And yeah, what was the transition like?
Well, I'm only from London, so it's an hour and a half away, but it was hard to leave home. I'm very close with my family, and it's nice to have res because it's sort of like you're transitioning out of living at home. So you're not living with your parents anymore, but you have your meals taken care of and everything, and then in second year you can move out and then feel like a real adult.
I'd say like when I first started in first year, I made like a conscious effort not to go home as much as maybe I wanted to, just to kind of get an easier transition. So once I moved here, I didn't come back until, didn't go home until Thanksgiving, just to kind of give me time to adjust and get used to being away from home. So I think that's probably something good to do.
Yeah, I guess the same with London. Toronto's really not that far. I don't go home that often, but it's close enough that my parents come down maybe every third weekend and take me out for dinner, maybe bring me some food for a little while, or clean towels and sheets. So.
Oh, I wish I had that. Where do I sign up for that service? Jeez.
Be an only child.
Actually, I was pretty, independent in high school, and me moving out wasn't a big deal. Like I always worked as like a camp counselor, and I'd be away from home for weeks at a time, and it wasn't so much that. The distance was really great because I was still leaving home, but at the same time, if I really needed to go home for something, or if I just needed to go, just to go back, just to have like that comfort again, it was right around the corner. Yes. But also, I really lucked out in res in first year. Our building, the building that I was living with, was an absolutely dynamite group that I loved to pieces, and I'm still really good friends with, so that made the transition really easy.
Awesome. I'm from Burlington, so I only live like an hour away, tops. But I really like coming here because there was no expectation that I would live at home, as opposed to other schools. So I got to live at school, and it was close enough that if there was an emergency, I could make it home in no time at all, which was great.
So for me, moving 9 hours away from home was a big step. I basically only go home for like holidays and stuff, so maybe once or twice a term, and it's usually a flight because it takes like 13 hours on the bus. So I did the extra year of high school, and so when I left, I was really ready to move away because it was so far, but it was a good transition. Moving 9 hours away from your parents was so bad. Okay, so the last one that we'll do from the preset list is how do your parents feel about their little girl being an engineer?
My mom's actually in the hospitality industry, so I don't think she fully understands everything that I do, but she's like so proud.
Yeah, I would agree. I think my parents are very proud of me, which is kind of a nice feeling.
My mother actually went to architecture here at Waterloo, so she's really enjoyed seeing me experience a lot of the same stuff she did. We were actually in the exact same residence, and the furniture hadn't changed, so that was quite weird. But yes, she's obviously very proud of me, and so is my father.
Yeah. My uncle is actually a Waterloo engineering grad, and he's sort of the golden child within that generation of the family. So the fact that I came here, I'm gaining major bonus points with certain relatives.
Both my parents are engineers, but McMaster engineers, so they're not too happy I came here, but they are happy with my choice.
And I guess my parents are just really super proud and will stick around telling everyone, my little girl's an engineer. So that's it for the preset questions. We'll take questions from the audience now. I know you guys had a lot of questions we didn't have time for, so we can maybe come back to some of those.
All of you talked about being from out of town. Most of our kids are locals. So would you still recommend that we send them off to residence or give them a car and let them transmute or transport themselves? What would you say?
If you have the means, I would definitely recommend residence. Like, you make some of your strongest friends. Like, I met my boyfriend in residence, and it's like a great experience.
I'd also, just because the studying hours can be quite long, and just with group work, if your classmates are all on campus and you have to, hang around and do work with them till 11 o'clock at night, it's kind of nice to just have a 2-minute walk back to residence as opposed to a, 30 or 10-minute drive, whatever it is.
And parking is horrible.
Yeah. It's also a really great way to sort of integrate yourself. Like, when you show up for, your first day of first year, it's like, holy crap, I'm moving out, and like, this is totally new and it's totally overwhelming. But when you're living in res, everyone else is in the same boat as you. So when you're living with all those people, you kind of have this mutual sense of like, all right, this is totally overwhelming, but then you kind of bond with all those people and you make these really great friends, and that's kind of how you work through it. Whereas I mean, there's, like, I know a lot of great people that are from the Kitchener-Waterloo area and have lived at home, but I mean, some of my best friends are, from res and from living on campus.
Other questions?
Did you participate in the engineering student team?
I do women in engineering.
I don't think any of us are on student teams.
But they're amazing, and I have so many friends that are and enjoy it really thoroughly. It looks so amazing on a resume, and it's really fun.
Now, since you're in a co-op program, obviously you've got that 4 months of the year where you're functioning in the business community or wherever you're at. Summer jobs, do you take something still within your field, or is there something that makes you the most money, or something that's back home?
Sorry, what's the question?
What do you do as far as your summer work? Do you have a...
So our program actually goes 12 months a year. Some years we have 8 months of work, some years we have 4, because we do 4 months school, 4 months work, 4 months school, 4 months work. So we don't, our summer job is sometimes school, summer job is sometimes co-op.
Yeah, we don't really get a break.
Other questions? Okay, I'll ask one then. Tell me about your favorite part of, or the best experience you've had in Waterloo in engineering.
Come back to me.
I think the best thing that I've done since coming to University of Waterloo is just getting involved in other things. I'm very involved in the Engineering Society and with the Iron Warrior, and that helps me to be creative and use leadership skills, and it's like developed a sense of community for me, which I found very beneficial. And then it helps me focus on my schoolwork as well because I have to do time management.
Kind of similar to Kaylin, I'd say I currently conduct the engineering jazz band that's here, and that, for me, to find that group of people was really great for me, because in high school I was heavily involved in music and almost did a music major, but changed my mind slightly. But yeah, just being able to sort of find that your niche within a group, like to find all these other people that are also engineering students and are also so passionate about, music and having a great time that way was really, really awesome, I'd say.
I think probably one of my favorites was in my 3rd year, and it's just one of my favorite memories of my class. 3 days in a row, we had 2 projects and then an exam. So we had a design project due one day, we had a models project due the next day, and we had an economics exam the 3rd day. And so we were in the Davis Center, one of the buildings on campus, showing off our stuff for the first 2 days, and by the end of the 2nd day, half the class was so tired that they were passed out on chairs. And then that night, we stayed up like basically the whole night all together trying to study and learn economics for the next day, and thank goodness we all passed, because that was just the most ridiculous 3 days ever, but it was great bonding time with my class.
I'd say probably being an engineering orientation leader. When you start in first year, you have a whole week of orientation where you get to know about Waterloo and engineering. And as an engineering leader, it's really fun to meet all the new students coming in and teach them the various traditions and how to survive engineering here.
Tell me about your favorite co-op placement.
Okay, my favorite co-op placement is probably at the Institute for Quantum Computing, which is where I am now. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I'm doing research, literature review, taking grad classes. It's amazing. There's so many opportunities at Waterloo.
My favorite co-op job was when I was working at the Iron Ore Company of Canada in Labrador City. I was doing grade control geology, and I was doing blast hole sampling, and I got to do exploration drilling, and that was a really hands-on experience that I wasn't used to before. And I also got to use a lot of software in the office that I got to learn, and it's been very applicable in school since then.
My favorite co-op experience would probably be at Pratt & Whitney Canada, which is a jet engine manufacturer in Mississauga. I was doing manufacturing engineering there, but one day I got to go to the Pearson Airport and shadow a flight engineer. So I got to sit in the cockpit of a bunch of planes, stand in a couple engines, and just kind of roam around the airport. Kind of, I guess, slightly below security level, but it was a lot of fun to just kind of have that experience and see what I'd been working on for the past 4 months in action.
I'd have to say my favorite term is probably my most recent term, which was at Canadian Natural Resources, which is an oil and gas exploration and production company based in Calgary. I was doing production in mainly centralized in the northeast area of Alberta, but I was based in the Calgary office, and it was just a phenomenal company, phenomenal team. I loved the work that I was doing, and it was just an all-around amazing term.
My favorite was probably still at St. Mike's when Amanda and I worked together. And we were in the engineering department there. It's in Toronto. And the reason why it's my favorite is because we get the craziest requests from all over the hospital of what they needed improved in their area. And we would need to suspend things from ceilings that were never meant to hold, whatever it is we were trying to put up. And we were given so much responsibility that I've never kind of had somebody show that kind of faith in me. And the best thing was, though, that we were never alone. We always had fantastic supervisors and consultants, so that if we were prepared and we could ask intelligent questions, we had so many people to learn from. So I just love that.
The other bonus of that placement was that we basically had full access hospital-wide, so we used to be able to get into the sterile cords and surgeries happening, run through the psych ward, run up to the helipad when we'd hear over the radios that a helicopter was coming in. We'd race up there to try and see if we could make it on time. So that was also pretty cool. I believe there's a question over here.
Both of you had indicated that you applied to other schools and programs. What made you choose this facility?
For me, I made 7 applications, and this was the only management engineering program in all of Canada. So that's probably why I ended up choosing it, because it was basically the only program I could find in the entire country that actually spoke to me.
For me, it was the co-op program that really motivated me to come here. Having that experience and being able to choose a job based on, I'll choose something that I'm initially interested in that I think I want to go into after I graduate. And then after that experience, I'll find okay, maybe that structure of office isn't quite for me, but I really liked that work. And because of my most recent co-op term, I was able to tailor my technical electives for 4th year towards hydrogeology instead of geotechnology, which is something that I wouldn't have known otherwise, and I'm really glad I was able to make that decision.
Yeah, I'd say it was pretty much the same for me. I knew I wanted to get into the realm of chemical engineering, but what you can do with a chemical engineering degree is exceptionally vast. You can do a lot of things, and some things appeal to me in some fields, maybe not so much. So through co-op, I've been able to sort of find what I want to do. And also, financially, it's exceptionally helpful because tuition's not getting any cheaper. So that helped as well. And also, Waterloo has a absolutely phenomenal reputation, especially I'm finding, granted this is in hindsight, but within the oil and gas industry, especially out west, Waterloo is an absolute standout name to say that you're from, especially amongst all the U of A and U of C grads that are everywhere.
For me, my program is unique to Waterloo, so that was a big draw, but the other one was definitely co-op, and now that I've graduated, I can speak to this. For me and my 3 best girlfriends, 2 of them went back to jobs that they had as co-op jobs full-time. One went to a startup, and she met the person who created the company here at Waterloo, and me, I'm doing grad school, so not half bad.
Do we have any other questions from the audience? Was the question, what is your options to do a minor? I think Erica can speak to this one.
You can't really take a minor because, well, I guess you can. You have to take additional courses. Options at Waterloo are not for the faint of heart because you have to take an additional course. I took 6 courses instead of 5 on a full course load in engineering. It's tough, but if you take the 6th class, it's free. And I took physics. There's like, you can do an option in another kind of engineering. Like I could do an option in, I don't know, like maybe mechatronics or something. You can do computer engineering. You can do an option, I think maybe in econ or a minor. There's just management science. Oh, MSci, that's a huge option. And you can actually take that as part of your courses because a lot of them count as the electives that we're allowed to take.
I'm actually taking the international studies option, which is kind of different. I went on exchange to Sweden last fall, and I'm going to be working in Peru in the summer to get 8 months of international experience, and then I done like supplementary courses in French, history, anthropology, just like a whole wide range of courses, and that counts as my international experience option. So.
Yeah, the program that Alexandra and I are in, management engineering, is new. It used to actually just be a management sciences option that students, no matter what discipline you're in, you can take the option and you still can. So you get your, chemical engineering, but then you can also come up with kind of like the optimization side of the management sciences, and it's a good one because it fills the electives you need to take very nicely, so a lot of people do that option. Say architecture versus civil engineering. Oh, combining the two. Those are 2 separate degrees. Yeah, I don't think you can.
Architecture?
More questions?
That would take probably.
All right, thanks so much. We'll be hanging around a little bit after, so if you wanted to talk to any one of us one-on-one about things, please approach us. We're happy to talk.
Thank you very much, Amanda, and all the volunteers. One thing I want to say is you do have survey forms on your tables. The blues are for the parents, I think, and the greens for the girls. So if you could please fill this out. We do look at it and then sort of adjust and change the program based on the feedback. So please do that and hand them in. And finally, I wanted to invite Ginu up here. She's the daughter of some of the parents you talked to, and she helped design many of the activities. So she was going to talk about the competition and who won the competition. So is Ginu around? Okay, oh, she's coming. So she's going to list who the winners were for the competition.
All right. Okay. So the winners for this year's GoEngGirl water filtration activity was group number 15. Is anyone here from group number 15? That is Amelia, Emmeline, Jose Claire, Erica, and Patty. Come on up if you're around. Okay, so the prizes for them are a Waterloo hat, 2. Yep. There's 2 of them actually, and Waterloo scarves. These girls have won the award for collecting, for filtering a water sample that was extremely turbid and getting a turbidity value of about 0.22, which is extremely low. So congratulations. Thank you guys. Okay. So Betty Chang is going to announce the winners of the grade 9 and 10 competition.
So, I think first all the group did very well, but one group did exceptional. So it's the group, their group name is called Sushi Gober. And could I please stand up? So, four girls. So could you please come forward? There are four girls. So I actually don't know what the prize is. It's a prize. Congratulations.
Okay, well, we're approaching the end. Well, we are at the end, actually. So I want to thank you again for coming, and I wanted to thank, in particular, all our women in engineering students that spent the early morning here. Some of them started at 7:30 in the morning to get things ready up until today. So I want to give a big round of applause for our women in engineering students. We had just over about 50 that volunteered, so it's really impressive. I also want to thank the people that I work with in the outreach office. I'm sure many of you heard and received many numerous emails from Rohini. So she had to go, her grandchildren are actually visiting from the States, so she left a little bit early, but she did a fantastic job organizing this. I'll give her sort of a special round of applause. And then also in our outreach office, Martin, Shearer, Katie Dick, and then Margie McCrimmon, they've been invaluable in terms of helping to organize this, and as well Ginu, who was our Women in Engineering Co-op student who helped organize all the activities. Thank you very much. So that concludes the sort of formal part of our program. Again, we really appreciate you coming and bringing your daughters and your nieces, and we hope to see you again next year for the people that are still going to be sort of in grade 7 through 10. And hope you keep studying your physics and math and sciences, girls. So that'd be great. So thank you again. Make sure you fill out the surveys, and yeah, that's it. So.